The move to place the company into voluntary administration comes after the federal government rejected a $1.4 billion bailout to keep the airline afloat. Well, yes, because our country doesn't have $1.4 billion. Velocity Frequent Flyers is a separate company under the Virgin Group and is not in administration. I'm surprised. I mean, is anyone worried about their frequent flyer points? Seriously, maybe you can flip them to Qantas frequent flyer points. It's not like anyone is travelling anywhere at the moment. In a statement to the ASX, Virgin Australia said the decision was made to recapitalise the business and help ensure it emerges in a stronger financial position on the other side of the illness crisis. Virgin Group founder Sir Richard Branson addressed the decision in a tweet directed at the Virgin Australia team. So we'll jump here. We'll have a look at his letter. Dear Virgin Australia team, I'm so proud of all of you and everything we have achieved together in 20 years. Or 20 years ago, we wanted to bring much-needed competition to Australia's skies, to lower airfares, to give consumers choice, to create thousands of jobs and to put a smile on people's faces. Inspired by that vision, we created Virgin Blue, which grew into Virgin Australia. Together we created an airline that embodied the Virgin brand. An incredible team focused upon innovation and great customer experience to make people's lives better. Does everyone remember when you used to fly and food was included? And you didn't have to pay for all these little extras? Remember that? I know how devastating the news today will be to you all. In most countries, federal governments have stepped in this unprecedented crisis for aviation to help their airlines. Sadly, this has not happened in Australia. This is not the end for Virgin Australia and its unique culture. Never one to give up. I want to assure you all and our competitor that we are determined to see Virgin Australia back up and running soon. We will work with Virgin Australia's administrators and management team, with investors and with government to make this happen and create a stronger business ready to provide even more value to customers, competition to the market, stimulus to the economy and jobs for our wonderful people. Virgin Australia has captured the hearts of all Australians. That is down to all of you, past and present, who have made it the best airline to fly with. This is not the end of Virgin Australia, but I believe a new beginning. I promise that we will work day and night to turn this into a reality. So, I mean, the takeaway from that is, this is not the end of the business. This is an opportunity for them to cut the dead weight. To get rid of some of their burdens and maybe to restructure, to get a new team in place. We'll have to see. So, in Australia, Virgin employs about 10,000 people directly and supports another 6,000 jobs indirectly. About 80% of its direct workforce has already been stood down. The airline is 90% foreign-owned. Abu Dhabi's Etihad owns 21% of the company, while Singapore Airlines and China firms HNA and Nashan Group each hold 20%. The Virgin Group has a 10% stake. There you go. It's foreign-owned. Why don't these foreign businesses, 40% owned by Chinese firms, why don't they finance it? The Queensland and New South Wales government have been in talks about possible bailout packages. The New South Wales deal contingent on whether the Brisbane-based airline would relocate its headquarters. Finance Minister Matthias Cormann rejected calls for the federal government to buy a stake in Virgin Australia, but said it wanted two airlines to remain in Australia. The government is not in the business of owning an airline, Mr. Cormann told ABC News this morning. But we want to see two airlines continue, and we believe that the opportunities are there out of the administration process for that to happen. Senator Cormann said putting the airline into administration could lead to a sustainable private sector solution. It offers the opportunity for private sector interests to come forward and buy the business or assets with the recapitalisation of the business, he said. There's a lot of opportunity from here on to ensure that there is a viable second airline in Australia moving forward. He said the airline's major shareholders should be the first to step up. Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers said having two airlines was crucial for the economy. The government should stop leaving 15,000 Virgin workers hanging. They need to step in and step up on behalf of those workers, Mr. Chalmers said. Virgin Australia suspended its international operations due to the illness crisis and currently flies only one domestic service between Sydney and Melbourne. Its subsidiary Tiger Air Australia has stopped flying during the pandemic. The Transport Workers Union Queensland State Secretary Peter Bargini said today was a terrifying moment for Virgin Australia's workers. Being stood down was bad enough, but believing there will be light at the end of the tunnel and being able to get back to work once the restrictions are lifted. And now that doesn't look likely, he told the ABC. He refuted the federal government's suggestion a stronger airline could emerge from the administration process. Of course, because he's a unionist. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know how business works. I think that's fanciful, he said. Do you think that another airline, given that it was different when Ansett collapsed, the economy was going all right, it was just badly managed, that business? This is different. This is all the airlines around the world are struggling and getting bailouts. Is Qantas getting a bailout, everyone? So I think that if Virgin was to fall over, that another airline would just come in and fill the void. That will take years. And in the meantime, once we get over this virus, we need two good, strong airlines to be able to service our economy, our travellers, and also our freight tasks. Well, here's the thing. It'll happen as fast as the market demands it. It may not necessarily take years. And if it does, people will adapt. Do you think demand is going to be instantly the same as it was before? Do you think Australia will need as many flights as was happening before? It's not going to rebound, guys. We're not going to go boom, boom. This is going to take a while to recover in general. So should every citizen of our state, of our nation, take on debt to bail it out? Them's the breaks, everyone. I've got to say I'm really disappointed that the federal government hasn't stepped up. I know that the Queensland state government did. They put $200 million in. They were the ones that in the beginning that set up the Virgin headquarters in Queensland. So a lot of money had been paid into this already. Well, no, not really. Virgin hasn't paid much tax over the years, guys. They've been running at a loss for a while. So, whoop-de-doo, they're foreign owned. There'll be a market. It adapts. Aviation expert and editor-in-chief of Executive Traveller, David Flynn, said administration did not necessarily mean Virgin Australia would disappear. This is not a liquidation, he told ABC Breakfast. A liquidation is a wholesale fire sale of assets to pay down debt. This is an administration. This takes the form of being able to reduce the outstanding debt, but also look at restructuring the company. So in a way, it is more of a restructure, a reset, and potentially a reboot of Virgin into a new airline that is smaller, leaner, and more sharply competitive than the Virgin we have this morning. And that is exactly what we need to happen. That is exactly what we need to happen, guys. Now, people have to realize these drastic interventions into the economy, this lockdown that has occurred, is going to have consequences. It's not all going to be roses and return back to normal. Some people are going to lose their jobs. Some people will need to pivot into new industries. Some people are going to have enough and just step out of the workforce. Mr. Flynn said the administrator could make major changes to the airline that could keep it afloat, such as returning it to its budget origins. There you go. The administrator could, for example, cut the number of planes in the fleet. It could decide to make Virgin much smaller, more boutique airline. It could go back to the low-cost origins of Virgin Blue. That'd be good. It could go into the middle of the market to compete against Qantas as a full-service airline and Jetstar as a low-cost airline. It could scrap all of its international flights. So there are a lot of options to play with, but the end result will be coming up with a Virgin that is more efficient and more attractive. And it means you don't have to be a big airline to stay competitive. Today's announcement comes after billionaire Sir Richard Branson released a heartfelt open letter demanding more support for the failing airline. Well, I mean, good on you, mate. That's fine. That's fine. So, what do you think, everyone? Where do you think it will go? Do you think this could be a chance for a new Virgin? A better one? We'll have to see. This administration could be the best outcome, rather than tying all of us into more debt to prop up a business in trouble. They weren't doing too crash hot before any of this happened. As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or on Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay. You can use our referral links at Independent Reserve or Kucoin for the crypto traders, buy our merch from